How's it going, everybody? A little bit of a new setup here on the stream. Change the name, change the stream, and we got a little banner at the bottom as well. I'm excited to do this episode. A lot of talk about different sports, and a lot of talk about different just big news in the sports world today. So, if you guys haven't seen, just to get right into it, if you guys haven't seen or watched the NBA since the Luka trade, a lot has happened, the Lakers are playing great, and Luka's been playing great based on his last game. Almost had a triple-double, 30-point triple-double. So that's where we're going to start out. And I saw this on Instagram. Is Luka LeBron's best teammate he's ever had in his 20-year career? I want you to go ahead, and then I'll tell my piece, say my piece. But Brett, go ahead on your opinion. Is he the best player that has been LeBron's teammate over his 20-year career?
I mean, I feel like there's two ways you can ask that question. I can like, is he the best as LeBron's teammate, or is he the best player that LeBron's ever played with?
I'm talking about GOAT status,
and,
if we rank teammates.
Yeah, and I think that there's two different answers, because I think, is he the greatest player that LeBron has ever played with? I think so, just pure talent wise.
Right.
But I think LeBron's best teammate was D Wade from Miami Heat.
What do you mean? What do you mean by best teammate? Like just best person that corresponds with him, or
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would agree. I would agree with that. I would say that Dwayne Wade was his best grouping of two players, just based on their skill sets. Because D Wade played defense, and LeBron was kind of like Superman, and D Wade, was clutch and everything. But I would say that he is the best player that's ever been on LeBron's team. I don't think that's crazy to say. I mean, you look at Luka, he's another LeBron. He's going to average a triple-double or close to triple-double just like LeBron. And he can go get a basket at any time. I don't think D Wade and prime D Wade could do that. But I just don't think we're comparing D Wade to Luka, which is a completely different monster, honestly. So we're gonna taking that into perspective. We're gonna do LeBron's best teammates 1 through 5. I'll go first, and I'm gonna add a little honorable mention. At number 6, I'm actually gonna put Kevin Love. And this one's kind of interesting, because number 5 is actually really interesting. I'm actually going to put Ilgauskas at number 5 over K-Love. Okay?
Yeah.
And then at 4, I sound like a hater of AD, but I'm going to put AD at 4.
Okay.
And then this is a bias towards Kyrie, because he used to be my favorite player, in 8th grade, 7th grade, watching him go off on the Cavs. I'm going to put Kyrie at 3. And then obviously D Wade at 2, and then Luka at number 1. And I just base this off of pure basketball status. Who's top?
Yeah.
When you think of a player, who's better? That's kind of what I did. With the filter of LeBron's teammates. So what do you have?
I have Ilgauskas at 5.
Okay.
LeBron definitely brought up his level of play.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then I've got Bosch at 4. Bosch was huge for the Heat, and a big reason they won 2 of those championships.
For sure.
Then 3, I've got AD. I think talent-wise, AD's probably closer to 1 or 2 when it comes to his greatest teammates of all time.
Yep. If he stayed healthy, you would be up there for sure.
Yeah. At 2, I've got Kyrie.
Wow.
Yeah, Kyrie was going crazy on the Cavs. I mean, that's another like that's one to me that's like one of the biggest what ifs in NBA history is
If
if
Kyrie would
Kyrie
have
and
stayed.
LeBron stayed together.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. That's yeah.
Um, and then one I've got D Wade.
Wow, Luca's
I
not
mean,
even on the list right
yeah,
now.
I, they've played together like what 3 games.
Yeah.
I feel like it's definitely hard to. I feel like there's some recency bias, and so it's definitely hard to um,
I was going
place
by
where they're
the
at.
perspective of the kid is 25 and he's LeBron James.
Yeah,
And you have him
I
like
yeah.
like is it
I'm
crazy
just
to
saying
say
like
that Luca is better than D Wade right now?
no, no.
Okay.
I'm just saying like as LeBron's teammate
Okay.
is
So we
kind of
did
where I was coming from.
okay, so we did a little bit two different ones. I would agree
Yeah,
that Chris Bosh was probably or not Chris Bosh. D Wade's probably the best teammate like
yeah,
grouping that has been
yeah,
that of his group of his teammates that he's had. And we'll obviously I also agree that it's way too early to even say if Luka is the best group
hmm
because they're kind of the exact same players. So that's going to be interesting
yeah.
as kind of the season goes on. So wow, no Luka. I mean, I can see where you with the filter that you looked at it through. Now we're going to go into a little bit of college basketball. Kansas basketball not ranked in well, I don't even remember what the stat was, like 12 years, like it was like 10 years or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think it was 10. I think it's 10 years.
It's been a long time since Kansas basketball has been unranked. They were the number one team, preseason team in the nation, and I think they have like 9 losses or 8 losses.
Yeah.
And I was watching this team. They are not good.
No.
I don't know if if you've watched a game, but the team
Yeah.
I can't remember who they played. They lost by 50 against a team that they should have beat. Let me look at their. It was pretty terrible, and I watched their games earlier season because I kind of stopped watching them. I'm gonna be honest because they were pretty shit. Their defense was terrible. They played terrible. Let me find it, dude. I can't even. Oh, man. Can't remember. But they've had also. It's weird because they've had good wins too.
Yeah.
And they'll probably make the tournament if they have a good closing to the season. Maybe. Like if they get to their conference championship and lose, they might be able to. If they have a good closing of the season, they could make it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be. My question is, where did they go wrong? Where did it fail for Kansas? I know we don't really watch a lot of college basketball, but I think basketball is pretty easy to judge how something fails.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's just they've got a. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Hunter Dickinson or whatever his name is.
Yep.
He should definitely graduate and just move on with his life.
It's like 24.
Yeah, I don't know. And I know there were some doubts about Bill Self staying in Kansas. I think over the off season.
Right.
I know I saw that recently. So I don't know.
I mean,
Uh,
bad losses.
I think, yeah, and in their conference, I don't think they really. I don't know if they'll make the tournament.
Yeah,
Because
because
their conference is so much better. There's other teams are going to be in over them.
yeah, I see that. Because I'm looking at the conference right now. I mean, Houston, Arizona, Texas Tech, Iowa State. They did have the head to head. They do have the head to head against Iowa State, but I don't think that's going to help much when you have 10 losses to end the season.
No.
So basically, the only way they get in is if they win out and lose in the conference championship, maybe. That's like Kansas bias. Or if they win the conference championship, obviously, get an automatic bid. But if they get in, it's going to be the lowest seeding they've ever had, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
So just from my perspective, watching their team, Hunter Dickinson isn't great. Like, he's a great college basketball player. And this is a different conversation. He's not going to be great in the NBA.
Oh, no.
But watching their team, they just don't have any guys. Like, their national championship team, they had guys that would go score points. This Kansas team, it's kind of like Hunter Dickinson is the only one that can score, and he can't dribble. And he's a low post threat. It's kind of sad to see because it's kind of the downfall of this blue blood. And I think they'll be back if Bill Self doesn't leave. But now, if I'm Bill Self and I get an opportunity to go somewhere else, I might be thinking about it. So
yeah,
sad to see Kansas kind of go in the dumpster fire. But that's how it is. I think we're getting to see a lot in the college basketball scene of these different teams, being the top. Like Houston has been really good the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But that's kind of an example. These teams that got new coaches, it's not always the blue bloods like it was in 13, 14, 15. Now it's these teams that play great defense, shoot the ball well, and have great coaching. That's what I'm excited about. For the March Madness, it's going to be – that's why we've seen all these upsets in March Madness is great coaching, great defense. So continue talking about college basketball. Cooper Flagg mentions that he might stay for another year. That's what I'm excited about because I love betting on Cooper Flagg. But do you think he's going to stay or not?
I really don't know what he'll do. I think if he does stay, they're going to have probably the best shot of winning the national championship that they've had in a long time.
Right.
Because, next year's class is going to be really good with the Boozer twins on that team.
Right.
I don't know how you stop Cooper Flagg and is it? Which one is it?
It's a weird name.
Is it Camden? Yeah, I think it's Camden. No, Cameron Boozer. It's Caden and Cameron.
Yeah.
Cameron's the tall one, right? I think
so.
So.
They're both really good. I know the other one of them is like the top 5.
Yeah, Cameron's the top 5 because he's the 6'9" one. The other one's the guard. Caden's the guard. But yeah, they're both really good. It'll be crazy if they are on the same team. I think if he does stay, it will probably hurt his draft stock.
You think?
Yeah. Just because, again, he'll be sharing court with Cameron Boozer. He's got to be able to outperform Cameron Boozer every single night.
And Con, his teammate.
Yeah.
Right, which is, he's been playing well too.
Yeah. I think if Cooper Flagg wants to get the most money, he should just go to the league.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, no matter where he goes, he's going to play well. And I don't know. I just think,
let's say if you're Cooper Flagg, the number 1 pick is the lottery's already happened. The number 1 pick is Washington Wizards.
yeah.
Do you just be like, I make the same? I make good money in Duke basketball right now. Do I just wait it out until maybe the Spurs or someone that's going to be like the Bulls, someone that's has good history, gets the number 1 pick?
Yeah.
Would you think?
And that's another thing is with all the trade deadline stuff that just happened, we don't know who's going to have that first number 1 pick.
Right.
Because the Spurs could very well end up having they'll probably have, I think, 2 of the top pick. They'll have 2 lottery picks pretty much, because they've got their pick and I think it's the Hawks pick.
Hawks, yeah.
And so, I mean, I think no matter what, if they really wanted him, they could put a package together, trade for that first overall. I mean, draft Cooper Flagg.
Cooper Flagg, Wimby. I think we talked about this last one. Cooper Flagg, Wimby, and De'Aaron Fox. That would be gnarly. And it's the NBA. So, like, the Spurs obviously got the lottery. Weren't supposed to get it. Got the number 1 pick. Got Wimby. Best player in the draft. If they get it 2 years in a row, it's rigged. It's got to be rigged. Like, Cooper Flagg, generational talent. Wimby, generational talent. 2 in a row. When they're not supposed to have the number 1 pick, it's got to be rigged. But yeah, like you said, I mean, imagine that Duke team with Boozer, the Boozer twins, Flagg, and Concanopel. I mean, holy shit. And I think Cooper only gets better. And I would just say, like, why would you only get better in college when you can, sign a rookie deal that's worth more than any NIL? I mean, obviously, I don't know how much he's making. If he's making like $10 million, like, that's different. But he's not. So just bite the bullet, go number 1 overall, no matter who it is. Just knowing the NBA, the Washington Wizards are not going to get the number 1 pick. It's going to be a team that's not supposed to get it. Like, so we'll see. And sorry, I didn't mean back-to-back number 1 picks for the Spurs, but you know what I mean. So going on to back to NBA. Biggest, we kind of talked about this a little bit. We talked about the trades last time. Now, just a little bit later in the week, which kind of trades happened that you think the teams had the biggest win from? You go ahead.
Yeah. One team that I don't think they're a winner, but they have benefited from trading away their stars is the Chicago Bulls. They've been playing well, considering that they don't really have a top guy.
Right.
And Matas Buzelis has been playing really well this month.
Yeah, he's been playing. He's stepped up.
Now that he's getting actual minutes, he's been playing well.
Yeah.
As far as trade-wise, I would actually say probably the Miami Heat. They had one rough game, but now I think they've kind of found their groove. Or not the Miami Heat, the Warriors.
Yes, I would agree. That was going to be mine. Yep.
Yeah, the Warriors. They've found their groove. Jimmy Butler's been playing well when he's not crapping his pants. But yeah, I would say the Warriors are probably the biggest winner right now.
Yeah. When I was kind of researching this, I was like, well, let's think about when I look at the scores, who's winning? The Warriors. I mean, putting Jimmy Butler on that team has definitely helped them a lot because the thing before the deadline is Steph Curry could not score because he was getting double teamed, pushed off the line, getting the best player. Now we can kind of spread the floor out with Jimmy Butler, get another star, and you can tell the difference. I mean, I can't remember. I'm just looking at it right now. Let me go back. Western Conference. They won the last 3. They're over 500 again, and there's just a difference. And Jimmy Butler is one of those players that's going to average. He's not going to score like 30, especially with Steph Curry on his team. But he's going to have the ball in his hand. He's going to make great plays. He's going to shoot good mid-range. And he's going to play great defense. That's the one person they needed. I think that was a great trade. That was the one. I would say that was probably the best team pick that someone made in this offseason or in the trade deadline. Because that was the one person they needed. They see someone that's the guy or has been the guy, and that can go get points when they need to, and go stop the ball or guard the ball when they need to. So I would agree. Warriors. I do like the Chicago Bulls. I didn't think about that one. And Bazulis has been playing great since all the trades happened. Now, flopping back to college basketball. Big stuff coming up. Almost March. Obviously, March Madness isn't until April, which makes no sense, but it starts in March, at the very end of March. So we got a little bit of time. But early prediction of March Madness winner. Which team is going to win March Madness? Who do you got?
It's hard to bet against Houston right now.
Okay.
I think they're on. They're like it's like a 40. Is it a 40-week streak of being ranked?
Yep.
In the polls. That's insane. And they're playing such great team basketball. I don't know. I feel like they did that last year too. I don't really see any other teams that are going to be able to. I don't know. It's just so tough because
so much changes.
Like
in
any
March
game,
Madness.
any game, anything could happen.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really predict what's going to happen. I feel like Houston's probably been the most consistent, and so they're going to be able to. They'll consistently play well both sides of the ball every single game. It's not like a team like Kentucky was last year where they were living and dying by the three.
Yeah.
So I think they'll just be able to be more consistent than everybody else and just carry success from round to round.
I agree.
In the tournament.
Yeah, this year is a lot different than last year. Like UConn was for sure going to win the national championship or at least be in it. And then obviously they went on to blow out the net for the national championship. But
yeah,
like this year, I mean, our number 9th team in the rankings has 7 losses. I mean, that's kind of unheard of. I feel like. So I feel like this March Madness is going to be terrible. Or the top 3 teams in the rankings are going to go off. Like the top seeds. Like last year it was 1 versus 1 in the national championship. For me, my pick would be right now, I love Florida. They did just lose to Georgia. I love Florida. They just lost today to Georgia. They were down by 15 at halftime. They just don't have the consistency that a national championship champion would have. Even if they're top seed in the tournament, I don't think they're going to make it. I'm going to go with Duke winning it all. Those freshmen are going to, they've been playing great, and Cooper Flagg is just getting better and better and better and better. They've won 5 in a row. I think they're going to take that into the ACC tournament, get a number 1 overall seed in the entire tournament, because I think Auburn, honestly, is going to lose in the SEC tournament. It's just too top heavy. I mean, Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, Texas A&M, all that's just 5 I'm looking at right now, top 15. I do think they lose in the SEC tournament, so I think Duke's going to be number 1 overall, the team to beat, and they're going to win it. Cooper Flagg shows off kind of like Zion Williamson did when he was a freshman in the March Madness, but instead of the difference is for Cooper Flagg is he's really the only player. There's no, Cam Reddish or RJ Barrett on this team. So I think a double-double is very likely in the March Madness for him, and I'm excited to watch. So, and I also think Constantinople is going to keep shooting well and playing great defense. So, that's going to be my pick for March Madness. All right, now we're going to flip completely. Spring training has started for baseball. I haven't watched any. All the thing I've watched is all the thing I know is the Cardinals are terrible. That's my team. That's the only thing I know. They are so bad. But early, and this one might be just really easy. Just all the trades, all the signings. You're just like, Who is your earliest prediction of the World Series winner? I already have mine. It's going to be so easy, but you go ahead. Pick yours.
I think it's going to be the Dodgers
Yeah.
going back to back.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
It's going to be hard. If you look at that pitching staff,
yeah.
you're just like, how does anyone score more runs than this team? They're going to be the number one team in the entire year. It's hard to, like, want to watch a game. Want to watch your team when you know that's going to happen. The inevitable is going to happen at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So that's just what baseball is now. They need a salary cap.
I mean, it's Moneyball.
They need a salary cap. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, they do.
It's sad. I don't even want to watch the games. Like, the only reason to go to a game is to get drunk. Like, I don't want to. Because they're just gonna lose to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Sucks. So. Now you put this one on here. Gronk potential return to the NFL.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Apparently, he's considering coming back to the NFL.
Really?
Yeah. I saw it today. I think the initial reaction is that, like, the Broncos might have the best shot
They need
of landing him.
They need
Yeah,
a tight end.
which I think he would he would help them out a little bit. I don't know how much. I don't know what kind of shape he's in.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. Possible Gronk comeback.
Best team. I mean, just based off depth, Broncos need tight end bad.
Yeah.
I don't know where else he would go, just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay. You go back to Tampa Bay.
Good. He would love to play with Baker.
Yeah. I think some team that is going to have a chance to win.
Yeah.
Now, it might not be win a championship, but Broncos are definitely in that team, one of those teams. So,
yeah.
That's interesting, actually. Did you see the so J.J. Watt owns a soccer club. Or J.J. Watt. Oh, yeah. J.J. Watt owns a soccer club. He said to his goalie, if you don't, for the rest of the season, if you don't allow another goal, I will come back and play for the Bengals. That's the soccer. Yeah. 14 games in a row, the guy is not allowed to score a goal. And I saw on Twitter, JJ's like, well, this is not looking good. So potential JJ Watt and Gronkowski comeback. I don't know if JJ Watt's actually been serious, but that would actually be kind of crazy. But
I mean,
Tyler Hubbard, that's a singer. Sam Hubbard and JJ Watt
Jackson.
and 60-year-old JJ Watt. It'd be kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, imagine those two coming back randomly. That'd be so weird.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for today, for this episode. Pretty good episode for you guys. A lot of different things and different topics that we talked about. So excited for the March Madness coming up and NBA Finals and NBA playoffs. We're going to have so much to talk about. Now that the kind of waiting period of the All-Star break and all that stuff happening is over, we can actually get into real sports. I'm excited to continue this page and keep pumping out content for everybody. So follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, all those places. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night.